a sport tied to the past, a rite of passage, a ritual of summer, the pastime of a nation. Tonight, the boys of Beantown return to the field. It's opening day. New faces join together with the familiar, bringing new hope, new faith, and a new glory for Red Sox Nation. Live from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, NESN presents Opening Day 2003. Tonight, the Red Sox take on the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Young and old, ready for opening night 2003 from the Trop. The Red Sox, after a very successful spring training under Grady Little, ready to go on this opening night. Grady Little in his second season as the manager of the Red Sox. And Manny Ramirez, just a torrid pace in spring training, all ready to go for this 2003 campaign. Pedro Martinez today will make his sixth opening day start in a Red Sox uniform. And it is indeed opening day from Tampa Bay. We're back with more after this from the Trop.
This is Ford F.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence as we think about and we honor the brave men and women from America and from the coalition forces who, as we are here tonight, have put themselves in harm's way in order to promote the cause of liberty around the world and the freedom of the people who are around. Thank you, and God bless America. Go Rays.
And now, we direct your attention to the infield, accompanied by sign language specialist, Ms. Linda Diaz. Please welcome and join from Entertainment Review, Jessica Johnson, Brooke Fauci, Jennifer Rubine, and Jessica Sierra as they
welcome everybody to opening night 2003 here on Nesson. I'm Don Orsillo, as always joined by Jerry Remy. Well, these are two teams headed in maybe different directions. Lou Piniella taking over here with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He has said that he'd like to win 70 games this season, kind of a moderate goal, but the Red Sox have higher hopes. Jerry.
Well, two teams, Don, on different missions, obviously. The Red Sox, with Pedro Martinez leading the way tonight, certainly in the improvements they've made in the offseason, feel they're a ball club that can go to postseason play, and anything short of that would be a major disappointment for the Boston Red Sox. On the other side, Lou Piniella, of course, the big excitement here in Tampa Bay, and I think finally here they're trying to do things the right way. They've got a $15 million payroll. They've got some very good young players who may be here a little bit too soon, but the fact is Lou's going to try to bring some kind of winning attitude to this ball club, and I think for the first time in their existence, they're finally heading in the right direction.
Everybody is healthy as well. Of course, the difference from last year to this year was kind of one wondering as to how the Pedros, the Nomeyers, and the Veritek's were this year, we know. Yeah,
and it was a great spring training for all those guys. You know, they really came down with no physical problems at all. They all performed very, very well during the spring, and, you know, they'd be lying. Everybody who's played this game, no matter how long you've played it, you're always nervous on opening night. There's no question about that. Everybody's anxious to get that first at-bat under the way, catch the first ground ball, throw the first strike, and that's what we're looking forward to very, very soon.
One other note, Tony Cloninger may be headed back to Boston tomorrow. A little bit of a setback, perhaps.
Yeah, Tony's not feeling very well, and they felt the best thing for him is to get him away from the ball club, get him back to Boston, get him in treatment as soon as possible. And, you know, that was the only down thing today. A lot of the players very, very concerned about Tony, along with Grady Little.
Well, the Red Sox enjoyed all kinds of success here last year at Tropicana Field. In fact, they never lost. They were 10-0 here, and they looked to have that same kind of success again. The Red Sox also looking to take advantage, perhaps, of Tampa Bay with all the games they play them 19 times this season.
Well, it's the same type of division as a year ago. You've got Tampa Bay, who is still going to be a struggling ball club, a learning ball club. Baltimore appears to have the same type of club they had a year ago. I think Toronto's going to be a better club and could present some type of challenge. Maybe not this year, but certainly in the future. And it comes down to Boston and New York. I think Boston is one of the top 6 or 7 teams in the American League. And certainly if you're in that position, you have a chance to go to postseason.
It does appear also as we head into this opening game 2003 that Grady Little has some more options on that bench as the games go on.
Well, he does. You know, he's got some guys out there that he can move around. We're going to see a lot of that. Bill Miller will play some third base late in the game. He'll get some starts. Kevin Millar played different positions. A much deeper bench than he did have a year ago.
Well, I'm ready. Jerry's ready. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Eric Freed. Eric?
Well, Don and Jerry, I'm ready too, and the crowd here ready as well as John Gruden comes out to throw the first pitch for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before the Devil Rays and the Red Sox begin. You mentioned injuries for this Red Sox team, and that's what Grady Little talked about before the game when I talked to him. He said it was a great spring because it was injury-free. A couple of little dings at the end. Nomar, Trot, Nixon, a little banged up. They're fine. They're playing here today. Manny Ramirez not with the team the last couple of days of spring training, but he was back with them yesterday for an optional workout here at Tropicana Field. As for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, they're running out of slogans for this team. This year, it's a whole new ball game is what they're saying, as Lou Piniella is the new manager of this team. And that salt and pepper hair is going to get a little saltier as we go along this year because it's a very young team, the lowest payroll in baseball. And that notoriously salty tongue was not planted in cheek when Lou said he hopes for 70 wins for this team. This is a guy who's had a lot of success, of course, everywhere he's been. He is counting on one guy, Rocco Baldelli, who's making his major league debut here on opening day. The pride of Cumberland, Rhode Island, will get the start for the Devil Rays, and he'll get to face Pedro Martinez.
All right, Eric, thanks very much. The umpires meeting at home plate as Grady Little has brought out his lineup card for the first time in 2003 and is met there by Lou Piniella. And it appears there is some excitement here in the Tampa Bay area. Anytime you take on the manager who has the reputation that Lou Piniella has, of course, a chance for Lou to come home and manage from Tampa Bay in the St. Pete area. But it does seem that the Tampa Bay fans, again, are looking for hope here, and it appears that way with a very good crowd on hand here tonight for opening night.
Well, very good, Don, but a little disappointing. Not a sellout crowd. Now, we read in the paper today there are only a couple of thousand seats available for this game, but still a lot of the upper deck is not going to be filled here. But certainly, as far as the crowds that we have seen here in the past, this is a much, much better crowd.
I don't think I've ever seen a crowd here more than 20,000, to be honest with you. And we did most of the Tampa Bay games here last year, and a great crowd on hand here tonight at the Trop. And as we mentioned earlier, Lou Piniella has kind of moderately put a goal out there. He'd like to win 70 games here, at least with Tampa Bay this season. He comes in with the second youngest team in the major leagues. Detroit is first. But, of course, he brings on a situation, or comes into a situation here where he does not have much in the way of a payroll to work with. In fact, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays' entire team is a $15 million salary, which is amazing. The pitching staff alone, just 1.7. I mean, that is staggering in today's terms.
Yeah, I was looking at those numbers today, and they've got guys that have been playing for a year or two still making minimum salary on this team. But over the last week, they have added some veteran players to this team. Certainly Ray Ordonez will be at shortstop for them. A veteran presence, a guy that's been around a while. They've added some guys to the bench, Terry Shumpert. So, you know, the main focus, and we look at Al Martin right now, who was just recently signed by the Devil Rays, but the main focus is on the young guys. Guys like Carl Crawford, Baldelli, certainly Grieve, who was here last year, Aubrey Huff, Toby Hall. Those are the guys that in the next 2 or 3 years, the Devil Rays hope can make this a competitive team.
One thing to keep in mind heading into tonight's opening night, the Rays have won 3 straight opening day games, the longest current streak in the American League, and they are tied with Arizona in that category for the second longest in the majors, behind Atlanta, who had won 5 straight opening days coming into their action today against the Expos. We should tell you, for those of you who have watched so many games here from Tropicana Field, they have done some renovations here at Tropicana Field, and yesterday they made an announcement here and had a press conference, and some of those changes are the wall out there. It is now quite aquatic, if you will. They have added some different things out there on the wall. There's a look at a Devil Ray. And they have added some things up onto the very controversial catwalks here that we have heard so much about. You may remember last year, one of the most dramatic victories of 2002 was the pinch hit grand slam for Shea Hillenbrand off the catwalk out there. It was that very catwalk, in fact, and it is now covered up as well. So a few renovations here in Tampa Bay to add to the effect of Tropicana Field.
The best thing they can add is some wins.
Well, they'd like to mix in a few against the Red Sox. The Red Sox certainly looking to continue the momentum from 2003, in which they won 10 games here at Tropicana Field. Let's take a look at the opening night starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox. Johnny Damon will lead it off. He's in center field. Todd Walker bats second at second base. Nomar Garciaparra, shortstop, bats third. Last season, .349 the batting average for Manny Ramirez and the batting title. Kevin Millard, first base. Shea Hillenbrand at third, bats sixth. Jeremy Giambi, the DH, batting seventh. Nixon in right, and Jason Varitek does the catching and bats ninth.
The defense tonight for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, Aubrey Huff will be at third base. Ray Ordonez coming over for the Mets will be at shortstop. Brett Abernathy at second. And Travis Lee, last year with Philadelphia, he's at first base. Left to right, Carl Crawford, Rocco Baldelli, and Ben Grieve. Toby Hall behind the plate. And on the mound, left-hander Joe Kennedy. At 23 years old, he is the youngest to start a Tampa Bay opener. You can see the numbers from a year ago. 8-11, 4.53 ERA. And just a horrible spring. Bad numbers during spring training, but he gets the nod here on opening day. He's never beaten the Red Sox. He's had 4 career starts against them. 0-1 with a 6.14 ERA.
And the umpiring crew, Charlie Relaford has the plate. Mike Everett at first, Hunter Wintelstead at second, and the veteran Larry Young at third.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's game notes brought to you by New England Toyota dealers. Red Sox have won 9 of the last 13 season openers. 14 Red Sox players not on last year's opening day roster, and 18 Devil Rays players not on last year's opening day roster. So both teams really with an awful lot of changes in the offseason.
Well, we are ready to go here as Joe Kennedy makes his way to the mound for the Devil Rays. You may remember back in 1986, the very first pitch thrown against the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium, Dwight Evans took out of the yard. We'll see how the first pitch of 2003 goes. Johnny Damon takes strike one. Johnny in 154 games last year, some of it injured, but was able to work his way through. And it evens up at 1-1 to Damon.
Red Sox tonight from Kennedy will see 2 types of fastball: the cross-seam fastball, the sinking fastball, a over-the-top curveball, and a changeup.
In the air to right, Ben Grieve is there, and he takes care of out number 1. Where available, today's broadcast can be heard in Spanish by using the SAP function on your TV set.
John Walker.
One down, and it brings up Todd Walker. You mentioned Joe Kennedy's miserable numbers during the spring, and boy, he had a very tough spring training, and you have to wonder if it'll carry into this season. His first outing of the year, as Joe Kennedy during the spring was 0-4 with a 10.43 earned run average in 5 starts. The Devil Rays train down the street here in St. Petersburg, so they don't have to go very far from their spring training site. On the ground, Abernathy ranges to the outfield, hit the heel of the glove, and it's too late to get Walker. So the Red Sox have their first base runner of the afternoon.
Well, certainly a play that could have been made by Abernathy. He did range to his left, not a great deal, but somehow trapped in between trying to make the play on this ground ball. We'll see how they score this. Pretty good chance it goes an error, but we'll see.
Do indeed charge an error to Brent Abernathy. So Walker stands at first. One out. Here's Nomar Garciaparra, fresh off a very, very strong spring. She was tied with Manny Ramirez in home runs with 5. There are the numbers from last year in his bounce back season after the wrist surgery. You have mentioned many times the telltale signs for Nomar, and the difference from a year ago. He was pulling everything at this point last year, and this year he seems to be going the opposite way with authority.
Red Sox base runners will have to be careful. 8 pickoffs a year ago for Kennedy, one of the better moves in the American League.
Grabs the corner, and it's 2-1 to Garciaparra.
And because of that, you can see Walker at first base really does not have that big of a lead at all.
He was tied with Chicago's Mark Burley last year for most in the league. In the National League last year, Damian Moss and Odalis Perez each had 9. It's sharply into center field. Walker will touch second and hang there as it's gathered by Baldelli in center field, and the Red Sox have something going with 1 away.
Well, you've got 2 guys back-to-back in this lineup in Garciaparra and Ramirez who really just wear out left-handed pitching. Garciaparra had the count in his favor, hits the ball hard on the ground on this artificial surface, and quickly up the middle for the base hit.
So the error continued the inning, and Walker reached to Garciaparra, goes back up the middle. Runners at first and second, 1 away from Manny Ramirez. Batting title a year ago. He slices it foul down the right field line.
Yeah, Manny took a couple of days off. He was back home while the team was in Atlanta. He returned here yesterday, took part in a optional workout here at the Trop late yesterday afternoon.
He was doing it all, I'm told, as he was taking fly balls and everything else here yesterday. And his final tune-up before the beginning of the season. But as dedicated as we have seen him since in a Red Sox uniform. Over the course of spring training, we saw hustle from Manny that we had not seen previously, and he appears to be very locked in and ready for the season.
Kind of like you, Don.
I am locked in and ready, Jerry.
A lot of hustle this spring all over the state of Florida.
The 0-2 from Kennedy. Just up top. Joe Kennedy a year ago was the ace of this staff, thus his positioning in the rotation to begin this year. Kennedy was just 8-11 last year with a 4.53 earned run average, but he was the best that the Devil Rays had to offer. It's one of those things you have to deal with if you're on this Devil Rays staff. The 2-2 on the ground to third. Huck takes the bad hop and jumps into left field on him. Walker will come around with the first Boston run of the season, and the Red Sox lead it 1-0.
Well, a big break there for the Red Sox. That could have been a double play to get the Devil Rays out of this first inning. Instead, It appeared when it hit the dirt, it did take a bit of a bad hop right up over the glove of Aubrey Huff. They played it off to the side. If he fronts the ball, he's at least going to knock it down. You see, he had an opportunity here to get in front of the ball, but didn't do so. Just up over the left shoulder, all the way to left field, and the Red Sox take the lead.
The second error of the inning for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. So things have not started off for them defensively well at all. And the Red Sox have the game's first run. Here's Kevin Millar, his first official at bat in a Red Sox uniform. He'll chop it through the left side. Garciaparra will be stopped by Cubbage as Crawford was in shallow left. And the Red Sox will load him up.
Kevin Millar jumping on the first pitch. His first at bat in a Red Sox uniform. Top spin ground ball past the shortstop Ray Ordonez. And Crawford put a pretty good charge in this ball out in left field. They had to hold up Garciaparra at third base. So no help from the defense in this inning is really hurting Joe Kennedy to get this ball game started.
So the base is loaded for Shea Hillenbrand, who was involved in one of the more memorable moments with the bases loaded a year ago when he hit the pinch hit grand slam here at Tropicana Field up off the catwalk in left. Shea batting sixth. And certainly wondering if he would still be with the Boston Red Sox when the year began. Well, if you omit Manny and Nomar, he had the best spring offensively, and he finds himself starting at third base once again for the Red Sox on this opening day.
And this is a case that he found himself in a lot early last season. 2-0 counts. He seemed to take a lot of pitches early and had the count in his favor.
Well, a 2-0. Shea will slap it foul back to the backstop. Last season, the grand slam for Shea Hillenbrand. There were not a lot of memorable moments, but this certainly was one of them. Just part of the 10-0 record for the Red Sox here at Tropicana Field last year. This is away, and Hillenbrand now has the count in his favor, 3-1.
See Kennedy there trying to turn the fastball over to get a ground ball, but again finds himself down 3-1. What a time to hit for Hillenbrand.
In his first season, he was not often in this pitch count. He popped it up foul and out of play off the right side.
A little not good plate discipline right there. A 3-1 pitch that looked to be nasty down and away. If you take it, it's a strike, so what? Now it's 3-2.
Probably not overly used to that situation over the course of the first 2 years in the major leagues.
Doesn't know how to handle a 3-1 count.
Well, it's a full count now with one down. In the air to right center field. Grieve is on the run. He will not make the catch. Back towards the wall it goes. Garciaparra is in. Ramirez is in. Millar will stop at third. It's a 2-run double for Shea Hillenbrand, and the Red Sox lead it 3-0.
You know, that's one thing that has impressed me this spring watching a number of the Red Sox hits. It seems like when they get a couple of strikes on them, they are making an attempt to go up the middle into the opposite field and to stay away from the strikeout. Hillenbrand gets the fastball on the outside part of the plate, puts a good charge in it. Grieve is just an average outfielder. The ball gets over his head, and a couple of runs come home. So not a great way for the Devil Rays to start, especially when they have not yet seen Pedro on the mound.
Well, Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, is out there very quickly to talk to his tall left-hander. As things have not started off very well for Lupinella and the Devil Rays. 2 errors in the inning, and so far it has led to 3 Boston runs. Runners at second and third. Still only 1 out in the inning. The Devil Rays will bring the infield in all the way around.
Yeah, they know who they're facing today, and 3 runs against Pedro's a lot, so they've got to try to cut off a run early.
Here's the first official at bat in a Red Sox uniform for Jeremy Giambi. And a tough spring from a batting average standpoint, hitting at just .204 during spring training. His numbers last year between Oakland and Philadelphia ended up with 20 home runs and a .259 batting average a year ago. In there for the strike, and Giambi's down 0-2. Lights it off the left side. It's 0-2. Pedro Martinez waiting patiently on the Red Sox bench as he'll be taking the field for his 6th opening day start for the Red Sox and try to better his record against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. The 0-2 pitch. Backs him off. 1-2 now to Giambi.
Now Pedro's already made all his warm-up throws down there, so I mean he doesn't mind seeing the 3 runs on the board, but you don't like to sit around a long time either in that dugout and cool off. But I'm sure he'll welcome as many runs as possible.
The 1-2. Giambi lays off, or did he? They'll check. He didn't offer. This is Larry Young. And it evens up now 2-2. Giambi batting 7th in the game tonight. The designated hitter with Trot Nixon waiting on deck. Red Sox still batting in the top of the 1st inning with 3 runs already in. Gets him. Went up top to do so. First strikeout for Joe Kennedy, out number 2.
I really got away with one there too. Not a real good breaking ball from Kennedy. It stayed up about letter high, but no contact by Giambi. So lefty against lefty, and the left-handed pitcher wins that battle.
So Giambi has struck out, 2 down. It brings up Trot Nixon. Trot missing the last game of spring training in Atlanta after fouling a pitch off his shoe top and had it blow up on him a little bit. Was very swollen, but x-rays were negative, and he is back and all right. He jackknifes back out of the way.
Nixon's had pretty good luck against Kennedy. He's only faced him 4 times, but has had 2 hits.
Nixon thought about it but didn't offer, and he's ahead 2-0. Trot, 27 years of age, will turn 28 on April the 11th, which is opening day at Fenway Park. This is Trot's 10th season in the Red Sox organization. So he was drafted, of course, in the 1st round back in 1993. He's ahead 3-0. Joe Kennedy missing high again. Last year, .256 batting average for Trot in 152 games. So if he gets the green light, he does not. He takes strike 1. 3-1. Kevin Millar standing at 3rd. Shea Hillenbrand at 2nd. With 2 outs here in the top of the 1st inning. 3 runs in. And the breaking ball in there for strike 2. Joe Kennedy, the 5th different opening day starting pitcher for the Devil Rays in 6 years. Trying to get out of this top of the 1st inning. On the ground softly towards Huff. On the run and in time to get Nixon. The Red Sox sent 8 men to the plate in the top of the 1st inning of their very first game in 2003, and they lead it 3-0. Well, the Red Sox get to Joe Kennedy for 3 runs in the top of the 1st inning. It's on to the bottom of the 1st. Let's take a look at the Devil Rays starting 9. Carl Crawford Crawford leading it off in left field. Rocco Baldelli, Rhode Island's own, is in center field batting second. Aubrey Huff at third. Travis Lee at first base in the cleanup spot. Al Martin, the veteran DH. Ben Grieve out in right field. Toby Hall does the catching. Brent Abernathy at second base bats eighth. And the former Met Ray Ordonez batting ninth at shortstop.
And the defense tonight for the Red Sox, they'll have Shea Hillenbrand at third base, Nomar at shortstop, Todd Walker at second, and Kevin Millar at first. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Johnny Damon, and Trot Nixon. Jason Varitek behind the plate, and making his sixth consecutive opening day start is Pedro Martinez. The numbers from a year ago, 20-4 on opening day for the Red Sox. He is a perfect 3-0 with an ERA that stands right at 3. And of course, Pedro, well, at this point last year, did not know what to expect. He really did not. He was very tentative early in the season. All he did is end up 20-4.
Second in the Cy Young Award voting. Carl Crawford's ready, and he takes strike one. The only Red Sox pitcher to have made more appearances on opening day, of course, is Roger Clemens, who started 8 season openers from '88 through '94, and then again in 1996. As this is grounded sharply at Garcia Parra, who handles his first try of the season. Well, Roger had a run of 7 straight opening day starts from '88 through '94. And that is the Red Sox mark for opening day starts. But this is the 6th consecutive opening day start for Pedro Martinez. Career mark of 7-2 with a 2.29 ERA and 12 career starts against these Devil Rays. As here is Rocco Baldelli. Last year with the Bakersfield Blaze, and this season in the major leagues. The Rhode Island native starting in center field for Lou Piniella. Up at this day for him, opening day, and he's in the big leagues, and he's facing Pedro Martinez in his first at bat.
Well, and probably, obviously, nervous. There's no question about that. But in the big leagues, probably sooner than expected. And as you mentioned, Don, you're going to see the Red Sox staff, then you're going to see the Yankee staff coming right in here. So it's going to be a tough first week for these young players.
You know, the 2-1, Baldelli fights it off, foul off the right side. Well, it's going to be a tough stretch for Lou Piniella. His 16th opening day as a major league manager. Baldelli strikes out. Pedro Martinez with his first strikeout of the season, and there's 2 down.
Pedro going up and in against Baldelli with that fastball to pick up the strikeout. Actually, looks like Varitek wanted away. He was set up away, but the pitch came back inside. Same result, though, picks up the strikeout.
So quickly 2 down, and it brings up Aubrey Huff. Last year hit at .313 for the season. It's one of the bright spots. Walker to the backhand from one knee will throw out Huff. Nice play turned in by Todd Walker. It's a nifty 1-2-3 first for Pedro. We're done with 1. 3-0 Boston.
Nothing. Red Sox lead after 1. Let's take a look at the batting leaders around baseball from a year ago. Manny Ramirez leading the league. Sweeney, Williams, Ichiro, and Ordonez, the top 5 hitters in the American League. Well, a lot of fans down here in Tampa for this first series. You know what there are down here, Don? There are a lot of college students from up north.
There seemed to be as Varitek out after the first pitch sends a fair ball down towards the right field corner. Varitek heading for 2 as Grieve digs it out, and Jason stands at second base with a double. Also gets hit in the chest for his trouble there at second base on the throw back in.
Well, Kennedy right now having big time problems. Not only not getting any help from his defense, but Red Sox hitters are doing a great job hitting the ball where it's pitched. Varitek jumps on the first pitch, slaps it the opposite field, down in that corner for the leadoff double.
So Joe Kennedy, who had to face 8 Boston hitters in the first inning, as the number 9 man, Jason Varitek, doubled off him to begin the inning. Now Damon, who lined to right his first time, pops up a bunt try, and it's caught by Toby Hall.
Second baseman,
sure that was a sacrifice put on there. It would seem early in the game for that, and the Red Sox have the 3-0 lead. He might have been bunting there for a base hit because it looked like he was trying to drop it down to third base. But you can clearly see the angle of the bat down low. A lot of times when that happens, that's when you get that little pop-up.
So Damon is retired, and it brings up Todd Walker, who reached on an infield error by the second baseman Brent Abernathy in the first inning. This is inside to Walker.
I think what Damon was doing there, Don, is just trying to move that runner to third base with the bunt, not the sacrifice put on, but trying to get the job done on his own by getting the ball down and trying to get him over to third. But not a good bat angle, and that usually results in that pop-up.
Walker fights it off, and it's 1-1. Walker, 29 years of age, beginning, of course, his first season with the Red Sox after he was acquired from the Reds. In December, was traded for right-hander Josh Thigpen and Tony Blanco, big prospect of the Red Sox organization at one time. They spent all or parts of the last 7 years in the major leagues with the Twins, Rockies, and Reds. But after that pitch, and it's 1-2. Career .292 hitter in 749 major league games. And he's hit .290 or better the last 3 years and 4 times in the last 5 years. Right back at Kennedy. He'll look Veritek back and underhand it to first for the inning's second out. Nesson and the Boston Red Sox would like to welcome Comcast to the New England market. We'd like to welcome you all to tonight's game, our first telecast of the season. Here's Nomar, singled his first time back up the middle into center field. We'll get his second look at Joe Kennedy. This Devil Rays team is a very youthful crew, and they are the second youngest in the major leagues behind the Detroit Tigers. And Joe Kennedy is no different. The opening day starter for the Devil Rays is 22 years of age and 1 month. He has pitched better here at Tropicana Field than he has on the road in his career. Lifetime 8-8 here, 7-11 on the road. Omar waves at that pitch and finds himself in the hole, 0-2. Last year, 47 2-out RBIs to lead the Red Sox in his bounce-back season after the wrist surgery. But you get the impression that this is going to be a monster year for Garciaparra and Ramirez in their 3-4 tandem. Waves at that pitch, and Kennedy nicely gets out of the inning after the leadoff double by Veritek. Red Sox leave him at second. Inning and a half in the books. 3-0 Boston. Wow, very nice from Braintree, Massachusetts, and Norwich, Connecticut. And Jerry, you're quite right. Wow, there's some action shots of you up there, it looks like.
That's a dangerous thing, Don. There's one error I made on that first shot there.
Really? Well, it was a 1-2-3 first on 8 pitches for Pedro Martinez as he gets ready to deal with the Devil Rays in their middle 3. Travis Lee, the first baseman. This year in 153 games with the Phillies, he hit at .265. Had a pretty good spring, in which he hit .338 for the Devil Rays, knocked in 13 runs. Came up with the Arizona Diamondbacks first, and they had very high hopes. Chop to Millar. Backs up. Going to need Pedro, and Martinez is there for out number 1.
First cut fastball we've seen from Pedro, and it really got in and kind of jammed to Travis Lee. We see Millar at first base. Now, a lot has been made about the defense at first base. And Don, you saw obviously more games than I did in spring training, but it really wasn't an issue. They kept shuffling different guys in at that position. Millar, Ortiz, Giambi didn't play very much over there, and Hillenbrand, and all did a pretty decent job.
And even Julio Zuleta, who begins the year with the Pawtucket Red Sox, did a fine job over there as well, adding some depth.
Now, here's a guy that gives Pedro more trouble than anybody in this lineup. 289 career average. Now, that's not very high, but that's trouble. Most guys don't have that kind of average against Pedro.
Well, Martin was actually out of the game last year and comes back this season for his former manager, Lou Piniella. Played for him when he was a member of the Seattle Mariners and was employed here by the Devil Rays, making his Devil Rays debut. Signed on March 28th. He was released by the Florida Marlins. He had been in spring training with them. He had been released in spring training last year by the St. Louis Cardinals and then sat out the rest of the season. So he may be a little bit rusty. A lifetime .278 Major League hitter in 1,132 games over 9+ Major League seasons with the Pirates, Padres, and Mariners. He lashes at foul, and it's 1-2.
That's the best fastball Pedro has thrown in this game. That one 94 miles an hour going up and away from Al Martin. Brady said around 100 pitches tonight for Pedro. Take a few, a few less, few more.
That's jumping up pretty good because that last outing he threw 72 pitches.
Yeah.
So that takes him right up to the 100.
That's about the normal jump, 20 pitches per appearance. And they're going to keep him around at 100, just like they did a year ago.
Strike 3 to Martin. He'll walk away with the second strikeout for Pedro Martinez. 2 down.
You got to think Martin now did not play at all last year. The first game back in the big leagues, and he faces Pedro Martinez. Fastball right down the middle. Martin obviously looking for something other than the fastball. I can't imagine what. Most guys generally do try to sit on a fastball.
Well, here is Ben Grieve, who gets a start in right field. So much was certainly expected of him as he hits a soft liner, snared by Walker. Lunging to his left, carried him to the outfield grass, but he brings it in. Todd Walker up with the catch. Pedro's faced 6. He's retired them all. We play 2, 3-0 Boston.
Back in Tampa Bay, a 3-0 Red Sox lead as we go to the 3rd. The Red Sox will be home soon, and tickets are still available for the April 15th, 16th, and 17th opening week games. Most of those tickets are 25% off. Special giveaways include Red Sox calendars for all fans on the 15th, new blue and red caps on the 16th, and sports bags on the 17th. Tickets are available 24 hours a day at 617-482-4SOX at redsox.com or during business hours at Fenway Park. That's a long promo. Did they miss a pitch?
No. He got it. It just they moved away. It was very nicely done, actually.
Nice cutaway, Mikey.
Very nice job, Michael Narachi. Back is our director for 2003. Of course, our producer is Pat Cavanaugh. And our associate producer, Greg Petranzio. This is lifted into left for Manny Ramirez. And that's Manny's first hit of many in 2003 to come. And the Red Sox have the lead man on in the 3rd.
Manny jumps on the inside fastball. Look at the hands come in and still able to get the head of the bat out on an inside pitch and drive that ball hard right by the 3rd baseman.
Here's Kevin Millar, who singled to left field his first time up. Red Sox already have 5 hits in the game. And the Devil Rays have made 2 errors through 2+ innings. Millar, 31 years of age, acquired from the Florida Marlins for cash considerations via Japan mixed in the middle, but in a Red Sox uniform to begin 2003. Signed a 2-year deal with the Red Sox with an option in 2005. And all of his Major League action, parts of 5 seasons with the Florida Marlins. He leaves the Marlins as their all-time leading hitter at 296. In the dirt, nicely taken care of by Toby Hall. 2-1.
What a crazy offseason it had to be for Millar. I mean, first of all, he thinks he's going to Japan, and that deal's kind of made. And now all of a sudden he's got a chance to go to the Red Sox. He's trying to get out of that. He couldn't wait to get in that truck and drive to Fort Myers for spring training.
Which he did from his home in Texas to Fort Myers to join the Red Sox. Evens up at 2-2 to Millar.
was even a little embarrassed by all the publicity that he was getting back in Boston. He says, they're going to hate me before I even get there.
It was unusually large. As he had a very big press conference when he arrived, and he strikes out. Short ball from Joe Kennedy, and there's the third strikeout for Joe Kennedy. 1 down.
Well, at times Kennedy has looked very bad in this game. Other times pretty good. When he struck out Garcia Parra back in the 2nd inning with a fastball. Now the breaking ball there to pick up the strikeout against Millard.
Away, and it brings up Shea Hillenbrand. Shea doubled his first time up and drove in a pair of runs. And he starts off behind. I think I said earlier that some wondered if Shea would be here. I think Shea probably wondered whether he'd be here to begin the year. But he is indeed here. Was the 3rd most productive hitter for the Red Sox in spring training, behind Nomar and Manny Ramirez. Chops it towards second. Abernathy backs up, trying to start the double play, and the Devil Rays can't complete it. Hillenbrand down the line to beat it out. They do indeed get Ramirez at second, but Hillenbrand reaches it first with 2 down.
Where's Lou? I thought we'd see Lou for the first time on that call.
You were predicting he'd be ejected early in this first game.
Why not, right? In a big crowd. Abernathy actually backs up on that play, which really cost him at first base, making that double play. You can't, in those situations, back up on the ball. You've got to charge it to try to get the double play. Lou very calm in the corner of the dugout, giving that gum a good working over.
Would you say that he mellowed in Seattle?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I was told that Pat Gillick had a talk with him a couple of years ago and really told him he had to calm down a little bit, stay in more games, and really made him a better manager.
Hillenbrand's going to try second. Hall's got a great arm, and they got him. Got away from him for a moment. Hillenbrand didn't hesitate, tried to grab the base, but Hall guns him down. That'll do it in the 3rd. We're through 2.5 from Tampa Bay. 3-0 Boston. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back in Tampa Bay, ready for the last of the 3rd inning, and it's the bottom 3rd of the Devil Rays order. Toby Hall, Brent Abernathy, and Ray Ordonez face Pedro Martinez, who has retired the first 6 Devil Rays in order. 3 ground ball outs, 2 strikeouts, and a line out. They drove 20-4 a year ago, the 2.26 earned run average. There were many who felt he was the Cy Young Award winner, but he did finish 2nd in the balloting. Hall carves it foul, and it's 1-2 to the Devil Rays catcher.
Another one of the young players, Toby Hall, on this Devil Ray club. He started the season pretty good last year. Then he gets sent back to the minor leagues and bounced back and forth with the Devil Rays, now named their opening day starter.
2nd straight year for Hall that he has started in behind the plate. John Flaherty had started 4 years prior to that for Tampa Bay. Ooh, a little pop up on a jam job, and there is Millard to make the catch.
That is one serious kitchen shot right there. Oh, that hurts from up here.
Number 3,
Fastball just running back in on the hands of Toby Hall. A big swing and no action. Oh, that is seriously getting into the kitchen.
So 1 away, and it brings up Brent Abernathy, making his 2nd straight opening day start at second base. And now has started a bunch of games for the Devil Rays. 193 out of the last 249 for Tampa Bay, all at second base. Made his major league debut in June of 2001, and that was against the Red Sox, and homered in his first major league at bat. He hit it off Rich Garces at Fenway Park.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be splitting time with Marlon Anderson. Anderson used to play with the Phillies. He's now here with the Devil Rays, and he'd be getting a lot of play at second base.
Marlon Anderson was once a huge prospect in the Phillies organization. This is sliced foul down towards the Devil Rays pen, and grabbed down there by one of the bat boys. He used them for protection down there, and he did a good job. The to Abernathy. In the air to right center field. On the run is Damon. He'll move over and make the catch. Route number 2.
I think Dickie Vitale's here tonight.
Even with all the college hoop going on,
I didn't think he'd miss this one. Opening day at the Trop, he's been begging for Lou Piniella to become the manager here, and of course he's right in the middle of his busy season right now. Lives in Bradenton.
we saw him in Sarasota, I think it was about a week ago, when the Red Sox were there playing the Reds. And you literally, when he stands behind the cage, which he does often, can hear him from anywhere in the ballpark.
We've had him up here as a guest a few times, and it's great because I could just leave.
He is as knowledgeable about the game of baseball as he is about college basketball, and he loves it. Here is Ray Ordonez, the new shortstop for the Devil Rays. An extremely gifted defensive player who has not been known for his bat, and thus his positioning in the batting order. He bats 9th. Last year he hit a .254 with the home run and 42 runs batted in. All of his major league career spent with the Mets.
I think the radar gun we're using tonight seems to be a little bit slow. We've had a number of pitches under 90, and I believe most of those fastballs have been over 90 by Pedro.
Ordonez gets a piece, and it evens up at 2-2. The Devil Rays have had a few shortstops run through here in the last few years. Ordonez is the 4th shortstop to start a Rays opener. Stocker, Felix Martinez, Chris Gomez, and Andy Sheets here for a while. They've tried a lot of different things, but as far as defensively, Ray Ordonez is one of the best in the game.
Yeah, this is not going to be a very good defensive club, but Ordonez, 3 gold gloves to his credit.
Payoff pitch from Pedro will just miss. Framed by Baratek. And there's the first Tampa Bay base runner of the night. And Pedro goes off the backside shaking his head.
He put his hands on his hips after that non-strike call by Relevant. That looked like a nasty pitch on the corner, and I don't think Ordonez was even sure it was going to be called. Ordonez didn't walk very much. Only walked 25 times last year.
So 2 outs. Ordonez at first. Here's Carl Crawford, who will chop one back to Pedro from the base of the hill. Crawford's retired, and so are the Devil Rays. Done with 3 from Tropicana Field on this opening night. Red Sox on top 3-0. Ready for the top of the 4th inning back at Tropicana Field, the bottom third of the Red Sox order. Jeremy Giambi was at the plate when Jay Hillenbrand was gunned down at second base to conclude the top of the 3rd inning. Giambi, a strikeout victim, his first time. I remind fans that we will be joining the Boston Bruins tonight in progress, as the Bruins will be at home tonight against Tampa Bay. So be sure and stay on hand for that. Lee will need Kennedy. He's there, and Giambi is retired. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. The question tonight: what player hit safely in all 14 of his opening day games with the Red Sox? We'll have the answer for you in the next half inning. One down. Here's Nixon. Trot grounded out to third base his first time.
What was the question, Don? I missed it.
Who had a hit in all 14 of his opening day games?
As a member of the Red Sox?
As a member of the Red Sox. Trot thought about it. Did he go? No. This is Larry Young at third, and it evens up at 1-1 to Nixon.
Looks like we've had a change at third base. That doesn't appear to be Larry Young. I think that's Dan Iasanga, who they have named now as the third base umpire. So Larry not with this crew.
Walter Wendelstedt at second, Mike Everett at first, and Charlie Relaford is in behind the plate. The 2-1. Popped up. Ordonez will duck back. Right at the lip of the grass on the backside. He'll take care of it. There's 2 down. Let's check in with Eric Freed. Eric?
All right, Don and Jerry, you were asking about Dick Vitale. Here, don't you know the Final Fours this week, Dick? What are you doing here?
Oh, an opening day, Pedro Martinez, Lou Piniella, Peanuts. There's nothing like it, man. Peanuts, it's awesome, baby. Baseball. Are you kidding me? I love this.
I would assume you would not miss opening day with Lou Piniella making his debut here.
I'm so excited. We need him to jump out of the dugout, start to explode. I thought he was going to come out on a close play at first. He should have been out there screaming, yelling. We'd get some people. Hey, I like the Red Sox. You've got some good additions now with Ortiz and Millar, and certainly with Timlin out of the bullpen. And if Pedro and Lowe and Burnett give you a good year, you guys are going to have a good season.
What about your diaper dandies for Tampa here, though?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We're excited about some of our new kids. Rocco Baldelli, who's a New Englander. We think he's going to be special. And I like that. I'd rather see them play some of these young kids like Crawford and Baldelli than playing guys that just bounce around the league and really don't create any excitement.
So who's your pick? I know you pick these 4 teams. I know.
Eric, I'll tell you one thing. You know, Final Four to me right now is so unpredictable, but if you want to hear it, I think we're heading for a Big 12 matchup. I think we're heading for Kansas and for Texas. In the meantime, I'm choking on my peanuts here.
Can
Where's
I have
Bob
some?
Ryan? Where's Sean McDonough? Where's all?
We're going to share some peanuts. You guys enjoy the rest of the game.
Gonna say some peanuts. Go get it, Baldelli. Go get it.
Off the wall, and Varitek heading to second base with his second double of the game from his number 9 spot. 2 at-bats and 2 doubles. This one scrapes the wall, and Varitek stands at second with 2 down.
Baldelli in the center field looked like he shied away a little bit from that wall. He was going pretty good back toward the warning track. Then he stops when he got to the track and then played it right off. Well, actually, the top of the wall. He had no chance to make that play at all. You know, one thing about Dickie V, he's got to come out of his shell a little bit.
He really needs to come out, you know, and just express himself.
See, he's thinking along the same lines I was. I thought Lou would be out there fired up.
You guys are on the same page.
Yeah, and any close play, get the crowd going. You know, this is the largest crowd they're going to have probably till over the weekend when the Yankees show up. So get them into it.
Here's Damon, who lined to right his first time, fouled out to the catcher. He's 0 for 2. And Varitek in scoring position, and Damon will take it inside, 1-1. Jason Varitek with a pair of doubles on this opening day for the Red Sox.
I bet you he leads the league in doubles right now, Don.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're right. Chopped right side softly. Abernathy's got to hurry up, and he flips underhanded just in time to get the fleet of foot, Johnny Damon. Red Sox leave a runner in scoring position. We played 3.5, 3-0 Boston. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Well, the Red Sox tonight out to an outstanding start in the first inning with a run already in. 2 on. Shea Hillenbrand with a double. RBIs 1 and 2 on the season for Hillenbrand. As Nomar scores, so does Manny, and the Red Sox lead it 3-0. That is indeed the score as we get ready for the bottom of the 4th inning. Pedro Martinez, 3 innings, has walked just 1, striking out 2. Joe Kennedy has had some shoddy defense in behind him, but 4 innings has given up 3 runs. 2 are earned. Nomar with a single and a run, and Manny Ramirez with a single and a run. It's on now to the last of the 4th inning, and Baldelli leads it off with a base hit to left field. Down the line towards the corner, Ramirez will dig it out, and Baldelli stands at second base. His first major league hit and his second major league at bat, and the Rhode Island native stands at second base with the first hit of the season off Pedro Martinez.
And somebody get the baseball for him. Pedro has it. Nobody's showed it. There it goes. Finally, they give it up. Line drive up over the head of Shea Hillenbrand makes Manny go to the line, so Baldelli gets the first hit of the game and his first major league hit. That's a good feeling. Lou's got it. And not a bad guy to get your first major league hit off, huh?
No. He is not likely to forget that anytime soon. Wouldn't anyway, but with Pedro Martinez's name linked to his in every bio for the rest of his life, there's no doubt about that. Here's Aubrey Huff, grounded out to second base his first time.
funny, you see Baldelli, he wears number 5, and the owner here, Vince Namoli, I guess referred to him as Joe DiMaggio. And he said, no, I'm not wearing 5 because of DiMaggio. He says, I wore 5 in the minor leagues. That's why I'm wearing it here.
You better go with whatever Vince wants, or you never know. Vince is tough. Baldelli at second base. Aubrey Huff with a count of 2-0, and Travis Lee on deck. Pedro working from the stretch. Just the second time in the game, Ray Ordonez had reached on a walk an inning ago.
Aubrey Huff had some pretty good power numbers last year. 23 home runs for the Devil Rays.
Finished up the year hitting at .313 last year for Tampa Bay. Far and away their best producer as he fouls it off at the dish. 2-2 now to Huff, and Veritek will run out and talk to Pedro briefly. Aubrey Huff did not make the opening day roster last year. This is the first time that he's been on a major league opening day roster. And despite not having played a full season in the major leagues yet, he owns the longest current tenure as a Devil Ray, believe it or not, 2 years and 3 days. The 2-2. Fouled off the left side, still 2-2.
Anything in this game, Pedro has at times had a little bit of difficulty hitting his spots. That time again, Veritek was set up. They wanted an outside fastball. Pedro left it out over the plate.
Next pitch for Pedro Martinez will be his 40th of his outing as he works here in the 4th inning. Pops it up into right center field. Nixon ranging over is there. Roughing as if the tag is Baldelli. He'll return to the bag, 1 away. Huff is now career 1 for 16 against Pedro Martinez. Time now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question from an inning ago. What player hit safely in all 14 of his opening day games with the Red Sox? And the answer is Ted Williams. 49 overall, 22 for 49 on opening day. 3 homers and 14 RBIs. One out, runner at second. Here's Travis Lee, who grounded out to first base his first time. And sends it to the right side for Walker. Almost let it play him, but he stays with it and fires out Lee. On the third goes Baldelli, 2 down.
It's one of those ground balls at second base where you got to make your mind up. Am I going to charge this ball, or do I have a chance to lay back one more step? And like Walker made that decision and take that step back and still able to get the play at first base.
Two down for Al Martin, who is 1 of 2 strikeouts so far tonight for Pedro. Al had all of last year off. 2001, he played in 73 games in left field for the AL West Division champion Seattle Mariners. It was the last season in which he played, and he hit .273 that year. Falls behind 2-0. Pedro expected to go in the 100 pitch area tonight. Marco Baldelli with the game's first hit off Pedro Martinez. A double to begin the inning. He now stands at third with 2 down. And Pedro has fallen behind 3-0.
See, Pedro has some respect certainly for Al Martin. He knows he's always had pretty good luck against him. 2-0 count. Pedro goes to the curveball.
For a strike, and it's now 3-1. So I wondered if there would be any contract word out of the Red Sox before the game today, and apparently there was not, as the Red Sox certainly have the option to exercise the option of Pedro Martinez for 2004, which they have not yet done, as Martin is hit with that pitch. And he'll trot down to first base, run into the corners with 2 down.
So what does that mean, Don? Does that mean that we only get to see 60 more starts of Pedro?
Well, they have not exercised it yet. They have until November to do so. It's a $17.5 million exercise. It seems like they would do it. But they have not as of yet.
Well, it would seem to me, Martin not making much of an effort to get out of the way. Almost looked like he put that right knee into it to try to get hit.
Pedro has made it very clear, though, that he will not discuss it during the season and not negotiate during the season. He wants to be focused. We can understand that. There are few that are more focused within the season than Pedro Martinez. Baldelli at third, Martin at first, 2 down. Ben Grieve lined out to second base his first time. He backs out of the way.
A minor threat that the Devil Rays have had in this game against Pedro.
Grieve, the former Rookie of the Year back in 1998, takes the strike, 1-1. Rookie of the Year with the Oakland A's, with a combined 55 home runs in 99 and 2000. But has only hit 30 home runs the last 2 years. Working on shortening his swing during spring training. Notorious long swing is he'll take strike 2. Working with Lee Elia, the hitting coach for the Devil Rays. Crowd buzzing in anticipation. The third strikeout for Pedro Martinez. The 1-2. He struck him out. Strikeout number 3 for Pedro. The Devil Rays will leave a pair on. We played 4 from Tampa Bay. 3-0 Boston. Well, a lot of Red Sox fans on hand, very happy to see what Pedro Martinez has done so far tonight. In the first 4 innings, giving up just 1 hit. On to the top of the 5th inning, and it's Todd Walker to get us started.
A lot of folks coming down from New England for this first series, and they were, I think, a little shocked at the weather we've been having here. It was cold today.
Tried to go poolside for a little while, which was not a good idea. It was freezing out there. I heard you were in the pool, though,
yeah,
despite the fact that it was that cold.
I did. I worked out and jumped in after that, and it was very cold. I guess tomorrow's supposed to get back to about 70.
Walker with a little looper down the third base line, and no play for Aubrey Huff.
Now, the way that thing was spinning, Aubrey Huff may have been better off just letting it go and see if it would spin in foul territory. Todd Walker picks up his first base hit. You think that thing would have continued on the foul?
Might have. A lot of backspin.
He had absolutely no chance to get Todd Walker at first base.
So Walker reached on an error in the first inning, grounded out in the second, and has his first hit of 2003 as he stands at first base. Red Sox with 6 hits. And here's Nomar. He singled back in the first, struck out in the second inning. And wraps it through the left side on the ground. Up to second goes Walker, and the first 2 Red Sox reach here in the top of the 5th inning.
Well, Garcia-Parra certainly hasn't changed his approach. First ball hitter, whether it be fastball, breaking ball. That time it's the fastball, and very quickly through the left side of that infield. So an immediate jam for Joe Kennedy here in the 5th inning.
Here's Manny, who reached on an error in the first, then singled in the third. Red Sox have had the lead man on in 3 of the first 5 innings. But all of the Boston runs came in that first inning. And the Red Sox were able to put together 3 hits. And the Devil Rays committed 2 errors behind Joe Kennedy in the first inning.
By the way, Manny will not be sacrificing in this situation.
No.
Going to jump out there and go on a limb.
Really throwing yourself out there, I see, early. Benefro is up in the bullpen. In fact, Tampa Bay now with double-barreled action in their pen. Popped up by the catwalks. Won't touch them, and it'll come down in fair ground. Travis Lee is there, route number 1.
Very rare there where you see Manny Ramirez actually get jammed on a pitch. That was a good fastball by Kennedy. Got it up and in on Manny. And Manny very seldom on a pitch like that will get jammed.
I wouldn't mind all Bruins fans tuning in tonight. We will be joining the Bruins in progress tonight as they take on the Tampa Bay Lightning.
What do the Bruins need? 1 more point to get in the playoffs?
1 more point.
Okay, it's done and over with tonight.
You're calling it a lock. Chris Millar is 1 for 2. So both Boston teams playing Tampa Bay tonight. Millar. He will move up as Millar goes to first base. The hit batsman loads the bases with 1 out.
Well, Shea Hillenbrand now has a chance to break this game open. Shea's already got the double to drive in a couple of runs in the first inning, and now working here with the bases loaded.
They came up in this situation in the first inning and scored Garciaparra and Ramirez. Comes Chris Bosio, former Major League pitcher, making his way to the mound with double-barreled action in the Tampa Bay bullpen.
Chris Bosio pitched a no-hitter against the Red Sox as a member of the Seattle Mariners. Had bad knees toward the end of his career. Trying to talk to the truck back?
I was trying to, but I don't think the talkback is working.
No, I think you got to make sure you push that down far enough.
Well,
try it again. Go ahead.
Okay.
Now it's working.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to make sure.
Little button there. You just can't hit it.
Could be very dangerous.
Bases loaded and 1 out with Walker at third, Garciaparra at second, Millar at first, 1 down, and here's Shea Hillenbrand. Devil Rays looking a little different. 19 new players from a year ago at this time. They brought in 73 players into camp. A lot of young players. 17 players have not played more than 3 years in the major leagues, and 11 have not played a full major league season for these Devil Rays.
Can you imagine having 73 players in camp?
I thought we had a lot. There's Lou.
I'm sure Lou got to know them all on a first-name basis, too.
Last 9 years, he's not managed a team that had finished lower than third. This could be a trying year. Soft roller towards second. Abernathy thought about the plate. It gets Hillenbrand at first. In the back door from third comes Walker. With the 4th Boston run, and the Red Sox lead it 4-0.
Well, they're playing back for the double play. A check swing, almost a half swing by Hillenbrand, and there's nothing Abernathy could do there except get that 1 out at first base. He couldn't tag Millar going by him. If you can't tag him, you can't get 2. And the Red Sox pick up a run.
So 2 in scoring position with Nomar at third, Millar at second. 2 down. Here's Jeremy Giambi, who's 0 for 2. He is struck out and grounded out.
Does that mean Dale and Gord are back there watching us?
Yeah.
Or
I think they're enjoying Red Sox baseball from their perch at the Fleet. And then when we are done here in Tampa Bay, they will pick it up.
That makes me nervous, knowing that they're watching.
You're nervous?
Now I'm nervous.
You don't look nervous.
Well, right now, Kennedy 1 strike away of getting out of a major mess. I mean, if he gets out of this inning with only the 1 run, that's pretty darn good.
Kennedy last year 8-11. He made 30 starts for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and it's the opening day nod here. Missing away to Giambi. Giambi last year, splitting his season between Oakland and Philadelphia, was traded from Oakland to the Phillies on May 22nd. And he combined for a career high 20 home runs last year, and he walked 79 times. Off roller right side. Travis Lee's going to need Kennedy, who's there, and the side's retired. Well, he gets out of it. He does give up a run in the inning, does Joe Kennedy. Halfway through this one, Red Sox on top 4-0. Red Sox on top 4-0 as we get ready for the bottom of the 5th inning. Time now for the Heineken What's on Tap back here at Tampa Bay on the alternate channel tomorrow. Check your local listings at 6:30, Wednesday at 6:30, and Thursday at 1:30 for the series conclusion. UPN 38 will have the first game of the Baltimore series, and we will be back with you over the weekend from Camden Yards on this 10-game road trip to begin the season for the Red Sox. Your thoughts so far? Pedro Martinez, the old Pedro.
Well, pretty much the way you expected things to go. Pedro looks like Pedro. He's only given up, what, the 1 hit in the game. Red Sox could have more runs. They've left quite a few men on base, but you'll take it right now.
Bobby Hall with a flare to second, handled by Todd Walker for the inning's first out.
Second baseman, number 3,
I like that, how you came over here for that.
Yeah, we had instructions that we were going to be put on the air, so I had to slide out of now. The real look we have, if we can go back to the booth, the real look we have is I'm hitting over here in my corner, see?
The actual look has lots of space. It's a very roomy booth, and there's lots of room between Jerry and I.
Yeah,
That's
and all this. This is the key here, though, the Nesson sign.
But what was the problem? It was the bar that we didn't like. We needed to get you over.
Well, they wanted to make us look like we're close.
I see. Out to third. Hillenbrand in on the grass. The throw, Millar with the long stretch, able to bring it in. 2 down.
Hey, you know, I'm interested to see now. Grady's talked a lot in spring training. As we get late in the game, he's going to make a defensive switch. Put Hillenbrand at first and Millar. Let's see if that happens tonight in this game.
Closer games or no?
Any closer games or any game, really, you know, as you get down late in the ball game. So we'll see if we get into the 7th, 8th, somewhere in there. If he takes Millar out, puts Miller in at third, and switches Shea. I guess it depends on how the rest of this thing goes.
2 down. It brings up Ray Ordonez, who walked his first time.
Look out, Don.
Pops up. Oh, wow. Right into the Tampa Bay Devil Rays radio booth. Thought I had a chance. I was on the move.
Oh, that's... Look at that's brutal.
That is so weak. Paul Holden, the radio voice of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, had it go behind him off the wall. He ran back, picked it up, and now he's pumping it out of the booth like he caught it. That's weak. That is weak.
Yeah, he and Charlie get along so well over there.
You know, if you're not going to catch it, you can't pump it. For those of us who have caught foul balls, we're screaming back towards the booth. Ordonez almost fell down going after that pitch. 1 and 2.
Yeah, just a little slip on that back foot on that swing by Ordonez. Watch the back foot just slip and give way. Ordonez is trying to hit that ball about 700 feet.
The 1-2. Ordonez takes it for a ball. 2 and 2.
I got my telestrator back now. Regular season feels great to have it. My old buddy to my right.
If you think about having the telestrator installed to your chair at home during the off season, you could just point some things out. Strike 3 to Ordonez. Strikeout number 4 for Pedro Martinez. A 1-2-3 fifth. We played 5. 4-0 Boston.
number 7.
4-0 Red Sox. We get ready for the top of the 6th inning. Read about it after the game on the Globe. Preview it before the game on the Boston Globe pregame report. It's more than your average pregame show, hosted by Bob Rogers and featuring Globe writers and studio analysts 30 minutes before game time right here on NESN. Look at that little box. Showed us our favorite Boston Globe columnist.
That's pretty flashy. Well, I saw something in between innings that I have not seen ever in a Major League ballpark.
You were all fired up over it, too. Sent out after the breaking ball 0-2. Let's take a look, see if we can get a little of that action in between innings.
Chicken races. How about this? Only in Tampa Bay. Isn't this great?
There's got to be somebody in the suit. Right?
Yeah.
That's not a real.
That chicken turned to talk to the other chicken.
I wasn't going to say they were real chickens. I'm hearing it now from the truck. Abernathy to his left throws out Nixon. I just meant that there were people in there. I was pointing that out, that those were oversized chickens on steroids.
The only thing that could possibly top that would have Raymond riding the chicken.
You've had a few hotly contested conversations with Raymond. You're not a big Raymond fan.
Well, he's always on the umpires. I don't like that.
Raymond, in case you don't know, is the mascot for the Devil Rays, who I've not yet seen tonight. Jason Varitek has been up twice. He has doubled twice. Once to right center, once to left center. The last one scraped the wall. Varitek is not your everyday number 9 hitter. So he chops it right side. Abernathy on the high hop throws out Varitek, who's retired for the first time tonight. 2 down.
Well, you got to give some credit to Joe Kennedy in this game. You know, after a very rough first inning, poor defense play behind him, gave up 3 runs. And he settled down pretty good. He's only allowed the Red Sox the 1 run, and that was in the 5th inning.
He's thrown 86 pitches so far in the ball game tonight. Here's Johnny Damon looking for his first hit of the year. He's lined out, fouled out, and grounded out so far. Devil Rays have won 3 straight opening day games. Things have gone south from there over the last few years. There's definitely a youth movement. 22-year-old Joe Kennedy. The Rays have 2 outfielders who are 21, Carl Crawford and Rocco Baldelli. Popped up around the bag at second. Abernathy will stand out to the outfield grass to haul it in. It's a 1-2-3-6 for Joe Kennedy. On to the bottom of the 6th. 4-0 Boston. Bottom of the 6th inning. In the top of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays order, Carl Crawford will lead it off. He was grounded out twice. He is one of the 2 21-year-old outfielders that the Tampa Bay Devil Rays have this season. He shows bunt and is ahead in the count 2-0. Second youngest 25-man roster. Average age of 27.4 for the Devil Rays. As I was mentioning earlier, really amazingly, has not managed a team that has finished lower than 3rd over the last 9 seasons. And of course, the bulk of that's been with the Seattle Mariners. But it seems the new, relaxed, laid-back Lou is ready for that type of season. He hopes to win 70 this season is kind of a goal that he is after, and thinks that this team could compete in 2005. Crawford waves at it. So after being ahead 2-0, Pedro comes back to strike him out. 5 Ks for Pedro Martinez.
And the first strikeout for Pedro tonight on that great changeup. I swear his changeup is so good that he could walk up to home plate, tell the hitter I'm going to throw it, and they still can't hit it.
Pedro's retired 5 in a row. He's given up just 1 hit through 5 1/3 innings, and it is to this gentleman, Rocco Baldelli. His Major League first hit, bounces it towards Nomar. Tough throw, but Millar is able to reel it in. 2 down.
Now Pedro that time ran the fastball, a 2-seam fastball, back on the hands of Baldelli. Remember, he swung at the first pitch last time up, got the double. This time on the first pitch, Pedro changes it up, throws that 2-seam fastball and jammed him. I was watching him go down that line. He runs pretty good, doesn't he?
Does everything very well, and that is largely the reason that he has flown through this Tampa Bay Devil Rays organization, the major leagues. And some had him tabbed for Durham this year at AAA, but as it worked out, Lou Piniella liked what he saw in spring training from Rocco Baldelli, the Rhode Island native. And today has his first major league hit. Did it off Pedro Martinez with a double back in the 4th inning. Devil Rays with a payroll of just $15 million. Their starting rotation $1.7 million, and the bulk of that going to Jim Parquet and Steve Parris at the end of their rotation. They're the most expensive. They each make $400,000. For a strike, and it's 2-2. Pedro with 5 strikeouts so far. On the left field line and out of play. Only been 3 base runners for the Devil Rays. Ray Ordonez walked in the 3rd, the double by Baldelli in the 4th, and then Pedro got behind Al Martin, ended up hitting Al Martin. This should be the 70th pitch of his outing. Again, we're told to go in the 100 range. And this is rifled through the right side. Aubrey Huff with the 2nd Devil Rays hit of the night, aboard with 2 down.
Aubrey Huff had been 1 for 16 against Pedro. Prior to that at bat, he gets the curveball from Pedro. Pedro gets a lot of the plate with his curveball. Not a real good bite on it, and Aubrey Huff is the hard line drive for the base hit.
Here's Travis Leaves, 0 for 2. He's grounded out to 1st and to 2nd so far. 1 for 13 lifetime against the Red Sox, and all of that coming in interleague play. Always had success on opening day, a .391 opening day hitter. He's been in the big league since 1998. His first ever major league game, he was able to hit a home run off Darryl Kyle in Colorado. Last year on opening day, hit a home run off Tom Glavine.
That brings a pretty good glove over there to first base, too, for the Devil Rays. They've improved at a couple of spots defensively, certainly shortstop with Ordonez and Lee at first base.
Speaking of Glavine, sounds like he got roughed up today a little bit in his debut. So did Greg Maddux in Atlanta, both giving up 4 runs in their first innings today. So that will dart down low. 3-1.
I had it cold in New York for that opener today. Watching the Today Show this morning, and those folks were freezing out there talking to Al Roker.
What it sounds like, it's very fortunate that we opened up down here at the Trop rather than at home right now. 3-1 to Travis Lee. Sliced foul down the left field line.
Rick Petrangio tells me that in that Baltimore game they had a snow delay. Not a rain delay, a snow delay.
That's nice. In Baltimore.
In Baltimore, yeah.
Is our very next destination after this series. We'll be there over the weekend for 3 with the Orioles. The payoff pitch to Lee. Down the left field line, foul. I think next week for you, Gary, we want to send our best wishes along to Tony Cloninger. We were told before the game will be headed home tomorrow to take care of himself for a little while. He had hoped to stay for the entire road trip, but it sounds like he's going back to Boston.
Going to get that treatment started for him, and certainly appears to be the right thing to do. He's been scuffling a little bit down here.
Strikeout number 6 for Pedro Martinez. It concludes the last of the 6th inning. We played 6 from Tampa Bay. 4-0 Boston. Back at Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. Red Sox on top, 4-0. Each time the Red Sox catch a runner stealing on NESN this season, you can enter to win a LoJack stolen vehicle recovery system for your car or truck at boston.com/NESN. Simply enter the date, opponent, and the runner the Red Sox caught stealing at boston.com. You'll be entered in the LoJack caught stealing sweepstakes. Pedro Martinez through the first 6 innings has struck out 6 Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He's given up just 2 hits. Has walked one, hit a batter, and has yet to give up a run. As we move to the top of the 7th inning, Todd Walker lead it off against Joe Kennedy, who has settled down after some tough defense in behind him, and a few hits in the 1st inning that led to 3 Boston runs. Red Sox got another run in the 5th by the mound towards Abernathy. Pause, but still plenty of time to get Todd Walker. Let's check in with Eric Freed. Eric.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. We're here with our Citizens Bank. Not your typical fans of the game, and it's not typical because these are the Baldellis. Rocco's mother, father Michelle, and Rocky. And well, you look calm right now. Is everything okay? 1 for 3. Got your first major league hit against Pedro Martinez. Life is good.
Very calm. I actually also, not that I know much about baseball, but I figured a slider, a changeup. But on a 2-2 count, he got the fastball up and in, and he likes fastballs. He missed it. Next time up, he figured the best pitch and first pitch he's going to get, he's going to take it, hit it, and take a whack. He did. Got a double, so I'm sure I got everything out of him, and I think he's feeling a lot better about himself right now. So
outstanding. All right, now she's working the phones here, but I need to ask you, Michelle. Michelle, I have to ask you. He went from high school 3 years ago to the major leagues today. I mean, that's a little fast for your little baby.
Oh, my God. He's worked so hard. We're just so proud of him. It couldn't be a happy day. He's just great job.
All right, they are not your typical fans. They are the proud parents of Rocco Baldelli here in Tampa. Guys, back to you.
All right, Eric, thanks very much. And Rocco Baldelli with his first major league hit tonight. Pedro Martinez, and looks comfortable out there in center field. 2 down in the 7th inning. 7 in a row now retired by Joe Kennedy, and it brings up Manny Ramirez. Thank Eric Freed, our 3rd broadcast member here from Tampa Bay, doing an outstanding job tonight in a huge crowd at Tropicana Field. And he's waiting on the 1-0, and it's in there for a strike. Ramirez reached on an error and scored in the 1st inning. He singled in the 3rd. And popped out to first base in the 5th inning. It was the opposite way. Grieve almost in his tracks, able to haul it in. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Joe Kennedy, his 2nd in a row. And a 7th inning stretch time from Tampa Bay. 4-0 Boston.
7th inning stretch from Tampa. The Red Sox have the 4-0 lead. Will tickets remain for nearly all 2003 Red Sox games, even Yankee games, when you get Sox packs. Sox packs include tickets to 4 premium games at Fenway Park at substantial savings. Sox packs are an easy way to be sure you'll see the new look Red Sox at Fenway Park in 2003. Reserve yours today by calling 877 Red Sox 9. That's 877 Red Sox 9.
Now we get ready for the last of the 7th inning. Pedro Martinez back out there. Jerry now standing in the booth.
Well, I didn't get a chance to stretch between the 7th inning stretch, so I'm going to get my stretch in now.
That's what's going on?
This is it, Don.
I know you're a little under the weather. The back seems to be giving you some trouble.
Yeah, I got a seat in my hotel room is not giving me a bad back.
Yeah.
But I'll get over it.
They are getting older. Well, we're ready for the last of the 7th inning. Pedro Martinez has been outstanding through his outing so far. 6 strikeouts through the first 6 innings. He's given up just 2 hits, walked 1, and hit a batter. The batter he hit will lead off the inning. It's Al Martin. The Red Sox have action for the first time in their bullpen. Actually, both bullpens are now busy as we begin the last of the 7th inning. Pedro, what are we waiting for here?
Waiting for the music to be done playing.
Okay. Pedro warmed up very quickly, and they were not yet done with the music. They now are. The action in the bullpen, that was Seth McClung, the right-hand who's up in the Tampa Bay bullpen. The Red Sox had action very briefly, but the one is warming now. Martin goes out after the first pitch.
I think he's back up. That's Ramiro Mendoza loosening up for the Red Sox.
Here's Ramiro.
Yep.
Well, Martin is struck out. He's also been hit by a pitch. He's in the hole, 0-2. ground and through into right field. A base hit for Al Martin. The third hit of the game for the Devil Rays, and it is the second time in this game that they've had the lead man on.
Pedro not happy with himself either. Had an 0-2 count, fastball right down the middle, and Martin picks up the base hit. Again, you see Veritek wanted that ball away. It stayed out over the plate, and the 0-2 base hit.
So Martin at first, here's Ben Grieve, who's lined out and struck out. Pedro Martinez, 3-0 with a 3.00 earned run average in 5 career opening day starts. He's never lost on opening day for the Red Sox. Overall 7-2 against Tampa Bay in his career with a 2.29 earned run average. This is crushed foul down the right field line. Maybe getting into territory here that Pedro has not yet done through spring training in terms of his pitch count. Last number Pedro had in spring training was his last outing, which was 74 pitches. And he is at 82 right now.
And it's been a fairly easy 82 for him in this game, too.
There have not been many long innings. There's only one inning in which the Devil Rays had 2 men on. That was the 4th. Runners off, and it's fouled off by Grieve.
Not a bad idea. You know, they're really not paying much attention to Martin at first base. You try to get something going, try to get a man in scoring position. Lou said he was going to do a lot of different things. He doesn't feel they're going to get a lot of big offense home run wise, so he's going to play a lot of hit and runs, steal some bases, try some squeeze plays.
Played a lot of small ball there with Seattle over the last few years with the Mariners. Well, the 1-2 starts down. It is now 2-2 to Grieve. Toby Hall is on deck, the Devil Rays catcher.
Raymond now, yeah, he's moved behind home plate. Now he's going to start giving the umpire a problem.
There's your boy.
That's what bugs me about Ray. Other than that, he's a good guy.
There he is, positioned in behind home plate as he is pretty much every night in the later innings.
Looks like he put on a few pounds this offseason.
You say that every year.
Doing squats.
Inside, and it hit Grieve. So a hit batsman. It is the second batter that Pedro has hit. And the first 2 Devil Rays to hit here in the 7th inning have reached.
Yeah, curveball right here from Pedro. This gets Grieve right off the foot. Hey, Pedro's been good tonight. There's no question about it. He's been very good, but he has not been as sharp as we've seen him at other times. A lot of times you see now he's only walked 1 in this game, has a hit batter, actually a couple of hit batters, but his location and the way you can tell, you watch where Veritek sets up, and he's not quite hitting those spots as consistently as we see him.
Is in the bullpen as Toby Hall stands in on the right side. He's popped out twice. There for the strike as Pedro slings it in there.
Now what the Devil Rays want to do here is they want to run Pedro out of this game, and so they still have about 6 to 7, 8 outs left to take a chance against the Red Sox bullpen. Any team wants that. Just get Pedro out of the game somehow.
In the air to center field. Johnny Damon back a few steps. He'll make the catch for the inning's first out. Trying for third is Al Martin. He will get there with a throw into second base. It's a double play in order. As there's one away, and Martin stands at third now.
Second baseman, number 3, right, number 9.
The second time in the game that the Devil Rays have had a runner at third. Rocco Baldelli back in the 4th inning after his double got to third on a ground out and was left there as Pedro Martinez struck out Ben Grieve to end the 4th inning. Brent Abernathy, who's 0 for 2, is fly to center and grounded out to third base. Grab to the corner for a strike. Certainly the Red Sox do not want to see the Devil Rays come back. You might remember one of the most miserable losses a season ago was a nightcap of a day-night doubleheader at Fenway Park. The Red Sox had a big lead at the end of the game, and Tampa Bay came back. That was one of the games you kind of point to at the end of the year.
Now, the one that always stuck out in my mind is that Oakland game.
Chop to third. Hillenbrand's coming plateward in the ground, and it is not in time. Tough throw from Hillenbrand. Veritek appeared to dig it out, but Martin gets in with the first Tampa Bay run.
A bad throw by Shea there. He's going to bounce it to Jason Veritek. Veritek has to make the play up the first base line and cannot get the tag back in time. Watch the throw by Shea. Looks like he looked to first base, then decided to go home and bounces in front of Veritek. He did all he could to just make the catch. I'm surprised Martin didn't slide on this. Looked like Martin thought maybe he was going to have to knock over the catcher. Didn't have to do that.
In charge, an error to Shea Hillenbrand. Abernathy reaching on the fielder's choice. Grieve up to second. One out in the inning. Ray Ordonez. Ordonez walked in the third, struck out looking in the fifth. 1 of 6 Pedro Martinez strikeouts. Both bullpens are busy here in the last half of the 7th inning. On the ground towards Walker. He'll be looking for 2. Nomar on to Millar, the double play. First double play of the day comes at a great time for Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox. Tampa Bay gets a run back. It's 4-1 Boston.
Now pitching for the Rays.
Top of the 8th inning, the Red Sox have the 4-1 lead over the Devil Rays. So Thursday night at 6:30 on Nesson, tune into the Boston Globe Sports Plus for live sports talk, plus a whole lot more. Hosted by Bob Lobel and a lineup of Globe sports writers delivering sports news, notes, commentary, and controversy.
New pitcher for the Devil Rays, Joe Kennedy, leads after 7 innings, giving him 8 hits, 4 runs. He did not walk anyone. He struck out 3. Certainly calmed down after a difficult first inning, and he turns things over to Seth McClung, making his major league debut.
Yeah, he's never pitched above Double-A baseball. You see the numbers last season for Double-A Orlando. He has been in the system since 1999. He's been a starting pitcher throughout his minor league career, but a different role now in the big leagues.
Millar out after the first pitch, sends it foul. Millar's 1 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch. His hit came back in the first inning, a single in his first official appearance in a Red Sox uniform. Foul off the right side.
Pretty good fastball, 94 with these first 2 fastballs to Kevin Millar.
McClung is quite large. He's listed at 6'6", 235 pounds. Lewisburg, West Virginia. A 5th round pick in 1999 by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, strike 3. Well, McClung in his major leagues debut here tonight strikes out Kevin Millar, first batter that he faces.
Big strikeout numbers a couple of years ago at Charleston. This one at 96 miles an hour. Fastball foul tipped into the glove of Toby Hall.
He's never pitched above Double-A as Hillenbrand lifts this to right field. Grieve back at the wall, will make the catch in front of it. Had no more room in which to work with. He was backed up against that big fence in right, but he hauls it in, 2 down.
A lot of that power provided by McClung with that fastball. Hillenbrand to the opposite field again on a pitch down and away. And that chases Grieve right back to the wall, that new pretty green wall here in Tampa Bay.
What do you think? Well, you think it's pretty. Obviously, you like it.
That's all right. What do they got on it? Dolphins and a couple of dolphins and things?
It's aquatic.
A lot of different stuff out there. Yeah, what is that?
It's a Devil Ray.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, that would make sense.
Sure. They are the Devil Rays.
There's a newspaper.
And there's more Devil Rays coming right at the beginning. Oh.
Well, we have to get the hitter.
Here's Jeremy Giambi. We were looking at Devil Rays. They also have added some stuff around the catwalks. I guess that's the sun. There's a whole there's a whole theme to this. You have below. You go to the water.
This is supposed to be the sun, right up
right.
there.
That's up top.
Right.
Now you go down below sea level with down to the fence, and you're below sea level, and there are your Devil Rays. So there's a theme that they followed here. They had a real plan when they came in on this renovation, and I'd say that they were highly successful.
I think there's more to come, too, from what I hear.
Really?
Yep.
We are told the Bruins game is underway. If you have joined us looking for Dale and Gord, you have a very bad imitation of Don and Jerry. But we will be joining the Bruins in progress tonight once this game has come to its end. We are in the top of the 8th inning. Red Sox on top 4-1, 2 outs. Jeremy Giambi cranks it deep and far to right, stays fair. It's gone, but it is twisting and turning foul.
Giambi seems happy to have the left-handed Kennedy out of the game. 0 for 3 against Kennedy. Good swing here, but just out ahead of that fastball a little too much. Had the distance, but foul.
Giambi 0 for 3. And he strikes out. In order, go the Red Sox in the top of the 8th. Seth McClung in his major league debut sends him down 1-2-3. Red Sox on top 4-1. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Tropicana Field. The Red Sox on top 4-1 as we get ready for the last of the 8th. Pedro Martinez has finished his first outing of 2003, ends up going 7 innings and striking out 6 Devil Rays in this one. Pedro was outstanding as he worked the first 7. The only run for Tampa Bay came an inning ago in the last of the 7th inning. Line on Pedro all told 7 innings. The 1 run on just 3 hits. Walked 1 and struck out 6. The run was unearned. Well, as predicted by Jerry Remy, some defensive changes as Bill Miller has come in at third base. Shea Hillenbrand at first base, moving from third to first. And the new pitcher is Ramiro Mendoza, who was welcomed into the game. A slicing foul ball down the left field line by Crawford.
Mendoza coming over from the Yankees, signing a 2-year contract with the Red Sox. Appeared in a career-high 62 games last year for New York. An 8-4 record with a 3.44 ERA. Holmes has had very good control. Has not walked very many.
Right back at Mendoza. Up the base of the hill, he fires out Crawford for the first out of the 8th.
Well, we get a little taste tonight of the new approach by the Red Sox bullpen. No closer per se for the 9th inning. He's going to go with a bullpen by committee, and the first choice here for Grady Little, Mendoza, even with a couple of left-handers due up in this inning.
Dana Levangie on the phone down there, and we'll see if somebody else is going to get up now. It looks like they are. As Euclides Rojas has come in from the bullpen to kind of serve as the pitching coach for now, and Tony Cloninger ailing and heading back to Boston tomorrow, and Dana Levangie handling the bullpen coach duties.
See, Mendoza's one of those guys that can give you more than 1 inning out of the bullpen. Embry, they'd like to keep to 1 inning. Howry to 1 inning. Chad Fox to 1 inning.
Baldelli sends it to center field. Damon moves over and makes the catch on the sinking line drive for out number 2. Let's check back into the NESN studio and Tom Caron. Tom?
Hey, guys. Bruins looking to clinch a playoff spot tonight, but not the way they want to start. Just a minute and 1 second in. Vaclav Crossbow will take it down to the near side of Steve Shields, but look at the little flip back. Totally catches Shields looking the other way. Ruslan Fedotenko is 18th of the year. 1-0 Lightning. We'll see in a bit.
Thanks, Tom. Back here in Tampa Bay. Aubrey Huff batting with 2 down in the last of the 8th inning.
Was that 1-0?
I think so, yes.
Tampa?
Yes.
I'm not at all concerned at this point.
No, you have already gone out and said that tonight is a lock. The Bruins gaining the points they need to get into the postseason.
Got a skate, got a back check. Got a hit.
I know you watch a lot of hockey during the off season. Did you enjoy the bean pot?
I missed it this year, Don. I was out of town.
In the air to left, down the line. It'll make its way foul. That's right. That was during the Aruba part of your schedule.
Some nice seats down that left field line. Has to pick up a couple of foul balls. Watch that guy warm up in the bullpen.
Going to throw it back. Goes ahead 1-2. In the air to center. Damon moving in. He dives and makes the catch. Johnny Damon picks up where he left off last year with a great catch to end the 8th. Down in order go the D-Rays. We head to the 9th. 4-1 Boston. For the top of the 9th inning, back at the Trop in Tampa Bay, 4-1 Red Sox on top. 8, 9, and 1 featured here in the top half of the 9th inning. Nixon, Varitek, and Damon to face Seth McClung, who retired the Red Sox in very fast fashion an inning ago, sending him down 1-2-3. Nice play by Johnny Damon to end last inning. Embry continues to warm in the Boston bullpen.
Now we switch over the scorecard. We see a left-hander Lee, a left-hander in Martin, and a left-hander in Grieve due up in the bottom of the 9th.
Is that the very famous Remy scorecard?
Yes, it is.
In there for a strike. Brilliant one.
Be a big seller opening day. Check out the website.
I was thinking about stealing it.
Nope. Can't do that. No.
They'd even have to go back and recreate it all, and then it would be a fraudulent scorecard. Dixon lifts it in the air very high up by the catwalks, and it somehow eludes them and into the glove of Rocco Baldelli. 1 down. Get up top there near that top ring, the top of Tropicana Field.
I'm impressed with McClung. He's got a good fastball. 95, 96, big guy. 6'6", 235. Yeah, we need security to get us out of the ballpark today with this baby.
Yeah, do you put it like in one of those gold sleeves and then put like a...
The big thing is I got to remember to keep the thing because I usually throw them right out as soon as the game's over.
I thought you were going to like strap it to a briefcase and have like a handcuff thing around your arm to get to the cab.
I think Tommy Franks has security. What do you see this leaving the park?
Wait until Rem and M goes to leave. Jason Varitek with a double in the 2nd, a double in the 4th. He grounded out in the 6th inning. He and Nomar Garcia Parra leading the charge in hits for the Red Sox tonight, both with 2. Tampa Bay has retired 12 Red Sox hitters in a row. Last base runner for the Red Sox was Millar back in the 5th inning when he was hit by a pitch. Varitek punched at that one. He's down 1 and 2.
Mason's had a good night from the 9 spot. Back-to-back doubles in the 2nd and the 4th.
This is away. It's now 2 and 2. What opening day is this for you? Of course, you were playing.
I don't know.
60?
11 is a play.
61. And he struck him out. Seth McClung continues to dazzle his 3rd strikeout at 5 Boston hitters, 2 down in the 9th.
Yeah, he's just blowing the fastball by the Red Sox. You mentioned 3 strikeouts down. Nothing fancy here either. Just one fastball after another.
Johnny Damon, who's 0 for 4.
Actually, you know, I didn't like opening day as a player. I just didn't like it. It was all the hoopla, and, you know, you always felt like what you did on that night, that's kind of season you were going to have. And, you know, I mean, you only got 161 after tonight, you know.
What if you didn't get a hit in your first night?
Oh, it's going to be an awful year. Yeah, I got to really battle now, you know.
And you really think about it, all the hoopla. The next day you wake up, you still have 161 of them.
That's all. That's all.
The 2-0 to Damon. Will miss 3-0.
The thing I really hated, too, is when you had an off day after opening day.
Yeah.
Because if you lost that game and you had a bad night, I mean, you had to wait. It seemed like forever for that next game to start, you know.
Yeah. Well, the Red Sox did that a lot for a while, especially at home.
Because of weather, you know, in case you get rained out opening day, at least you can make it up the following day. That's why they did that. No problems with rain out here at the Trop.
Well, that is the beauty of the Trop, and you get a lot of rain down here. A cold day in Tampa Bay, but you wouldn't know it. Climate controlled Tropicana Field. Johnny Damon has walked with 2 down. First base runner for the Red Sox since the 5th inning.
I'll see 2 outs. Johnny might try to steal second base, get in the scoring position. See if the Red Sox can squeeze out another run here in the top of the 9th. Damon last year had 31 steals for the Red Sox. I'm sure he's got the green light. He's on his own. If he feels like he can get the jump, go ahead and go.
Todd Walker, 1 for 4 as he carves it foul and misplayed up in the upper deck above us. Sox and Devil Rays to do it again tomorrow night right here on Nesson. With the first pitch at 7:15. It'll be Tim Wakefield get the start tomorrow night for the Red Sox. He'll go up against right-hander Victor Zambrano.
He was a bullpen guy for a lot of last season for the Devil Rays.
Check your local listings to find the game tomorrow night. Tim Wakefield, who has enjoyed great success against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He's 6-1 with 3 saves and a 2.62 ERA in 15 games against the Devil Rays lifetime. And you may remember him flirting with a no-hitter here the year before last in Tampa Bay. So this has always been a great place for him. In the Tropicana Field, he's 3-0 with 3 saves. And Derek Law, of course, will go game 3 of the series. That'll be on Wednesday night at 7:15. He goes up against veteran Jim Parquet.
Well, if Damon's going to go, this would be a good pitch to go on the 2-1. If he feels he can get the jump. I'll tell you what, not bad going to home plate. McClung, he gets it there pretty quickly.
As a result, he flips over to check on Damon, who's back. Well, and Embry continuing to warm. You would imagine that with all the warming that he has done, we will see him for the bottom of the 9th. If the score here be the Red Sox are unable to score any further runs, it would be a save situation. There goes Damon, and Walker gets a piece, fouling it back.
Looks like Walker that time, too, swung at a pitch that might have been out of the strike zone, a little bit high.
Seth McClung has impressed here in his major league debut. He retired the first 5 Red Sox that he faced. Damon, who walked, is at first. And Walker fouls the 2-2 off the left side. Kennedy started for the Devil Rays and worked the first 7 innings, giving up 4 runs on 8 hits. Pedro Martinez, if you're just joining us, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. He walked 1 and struck out 6. But Damon leaning the wrong way, perhaps, but he's able to get back at first. Doesn't go, and Walker takes ball 3. Damon will be off at the next pitch. Full count, 2 down. The ball deli a step or two towards left center, anticipating Walker may go the opposite way. There goes Damon. Ball 4, and it's back-to-back walks served up by Seth McClung, and the inning continues. Time today that Todd Walker has been on. Now you get into the heart of the Boston order as Nomar Garciaparra will bat for the 5th time today, 2 for 4. He joins Jason Varitek in the 2-hit department. Up in the zone, 0-1.
Big surprise there, Nomar going after that first pitch.
Shocker. He didn't do it the other day in Atlanta for some reason. I don't know if he's just trying it or...
It's stunning when it doesn't happen.
You really notice it when it doesn't happen. Out after this one, in the air to left. Crawford ducking back onto the track. He'll haul it in to retire the side. Nomar is gone, so are the Red Sox. It's on to the bottom of the 9th. 4-1 Boston.
Bottom of the 9th, the Red Sox have the 4-1 lead. Remind you, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. In addition, the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Well, after an empty inning turned in by Ramiro Mendoza, in which he retired the Devil Rays 1-2-3, our first look of the season at Alan Embry.
32 games a year ago. 1-2 record, 2.97 ERA, and one of those left-handers expected up here in the bottom of the 9th. Embry gets the call to try to get those lefties out. Signed a 2-year contract with the Red Sox in the offseason with an option for 2005. Signed that back in November.
Leading off will be Travis Lee. It looks like the veteran that the Devil Rays just signed, Terry Shumpert, has come out on deck, and he will bat second in the inning. Travis Lee 0 for 3, a pair of groundouts and a strikeout swinging. Fouled off the left side. Well, it has worked out this way in that Mendoza's come on for an inning. Now Embry. There are some, I think, who think heading into the season that this gentleman at year's end may have the majority of saves, even though they stick with this closer by committee thing throughout the year. One thing that was sure, I think, last year was that day 2, Embry at times did not have the velocity that he had day 1, and that would certainly be a concern for a guy working every day.
And one of those guys, Don, that Grady talked about pitching just 1 inning because of the, arm problems he's had in the past.
We saw him in Minnesota throw, 97, 98. Next day didn't have that kind of velocity. Grady certainly does not see him as a left-handed specialist. As this one will miss, and it's now 2-1.
Probably get a base runner. You probably see somebody warming up. Now, normally when the closer's in the game, you don't have anybody warming up behind him. But that's going to be the difference here. If you don't have a legitimate closer, then you've got to be prepared if there's a couple of base runners on to play, some of those percentages.
This is much more difficult to manage your bullpen this way. And it certainly will be a test for Grady Little, because this is grounded foul outside at first. I mean, it's a test anyway, but if you're going to go in this philosophy...
Well, the test continues through the 9th inning. So, I mean, you had your setup guys where you could pretty much set them up with matchups in the 7th, 8th. Then you knew you were going to go to your closer in the 9th. That was it. Bang. Here it's a little bit different.
Travis Lee with a count of 2-2. Through the right side into right field for a base hit. And the Devil Rays have the lead man on. Let's check in with Tom Caron in Boston. Tom?
All right, Don, Jerry's faith is well-deserved by the Bruins here. Joseph stumbles at the doorstep. Nick Boynton buries it crashing the net. That's his 7th of the year. That's a 1-1 game as we approach the late stages of the first period, guys.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. Bruins have tied things up. Red Sox trying to finish off the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and earn their first victory of 2003. There's Chad Fox who had a very good spring training. There you go.
Exactly what we're talking about, Don. You know, if you had your perennial closer in the game, you wouldn't see that right now. That's the difference. You know, it's no guarantee that one guy is going to finish off the ninth.
Here's Terry Shumpert, who was just signed by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the end of spring training and given an opportunity to play here along with Al Martin, Mike Benapro, a couple of veterans picked up by the Devil Rays. Shumpert in 106 games last year, 235 with 6 home runs. And pinch hitting for Al Martin, who had been 1 for 2, was hit by a pitch. In the air to left. Hit pretty well. Ramirez going back. That is gone. A 2-run home run for Terry Shumpert. A pinch hit home run at that has brought the Devil Rays back within a run. It's 4-3 in the ninth.
Well, Terry Shumpert, as of about 3 days ago, had no idea where he was going to be playing. All of a sudden, he signs a contract with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and it's his first hit, a home run. And all of a sudden, you got a 1-run game with nobody out.
Formerly a member of the Red Sox, Shumpert in Boston in 1995 for 21 games. And he's brought the Devil Rays back within a run, and there's still nobody out here in the last of the ninth. The lefty-lefty matchup here for Embry against Ben Grieve. 0 for 2 and has been hit by a pitch. Big strike 1.
Now, you would think that this will probably be the last batter for Embry. With Fox loosening in the bullpen, you get back into the right-handers with All, Abernathy, and Ordonez.
The Devil Rays don't have a very deep bench with options, only 4 extras. This is sliced foul off the left side, and Embry's quickly ahead 0-2. The Devil Rays, like the Red Sox, took 12 pitchers into the regular season, so less on the bench for Lou Piniella to choose from. As they have action in the bullpen is Lance Carter, the right-hander. Did he go? No. And Sonia, the third base umpire, 1-2. Shumpert, who most home runs he's hit in the big leagues is 9 with Colorado previously. He's hit a pinch hit home run here. And has brought the Devil Rays back within a run. Leadoff single by Travis Lee to begin the inning, then the 2-run shot to left for Terry Shumpert.
And that's the loudest we've heard this crowd all night.
1-2 to Grieve. In the right field for a base hit. Grieve is aboard. Still nobody out. He represents the tying run. The potential winning run coming to the plate is Toby Hall, but he will not likely face Alan Embry, who has given up 2 singles and a home run to the 3 hitters that he faces here in the last of the ninth.
Now, they had it set up okay. They had the left-handers due up. Embry could not get the job done. The base hit, the home run, and now a base hit again by a left-hander in Grieve. I'll tell you what, Grieve put a pretty good at-bat on him that time.
Embry is headed out. Chad Fox headed in. Will step aside. Bottom of the ninth inning, 4-3 Boston.
Society says that your mind isn't hungry enough. They say your arms aren't strong enough. But you are going to prove to them that you can handle the really big stories. The stories that unfold. All right, now show them your strength. Yeah. Woo! Strong minds. Strong bodies.
The Boston Globe. Your world unfolding daily.
And turn. And fold. And turn.
proof the NHL is tough enough to be sponsored by Dodge.
I've been hit harder. Me too.
When Comcast came to New England, we had one goal: to prove that we were unlike any other cable company you've ever had. Through hard work, commitment, and dedication. Now we'd like to give you your first month of Comcast high-speed internet for just $9.95. Call us today. There's no risk, no obligation. Just give us a chance, because anyone can say they're different. We want to prove it. Comcast. Call today for this great offer.
Tough turn of events as the Red Sox on top by a run here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Embry on the bench, not getting anyone out. 2 singles and a home run. He's still responsible for the runner at first, and the new pitcher is Chad Fox.
Chad Fox, plenty of Major League time. 12th pro season, has been in the Reds, Braves, and Brewers organization. Missed most of last year with shoulder problems. Makes his first appearance here for the Red Sox.
Pinch runner at first base, Damian Rolls will run for Grieve at first, representing the tying run. Held on over there by Hillenbrand. The bunt attempted and fouled off by Toby Hall.
Curious to see how Lou was going to play this. Sacrifice to get the man in the scoring position, go for the tie. You generally do that at home, but they are working toward the bottom of the batting order.
Abernathy and Ordonez would be next. Devil Rays trying to win their 4th consecutive opening day game. Fox missing up top. Chad Fox, 2 Tommy John surgeries. And was very strong throughout spring training. Nothing but great reviews from the Red Sox coaching staff coming into this season. Back in plenty of time. Lance Carter is standing on the hill in the bullpen for Tampa Bay. He's no longer throwing, just looking on, hoping that the Devil Rays can at least tie things up. And the Red Sox are on their 4th pitcher of the night. Chad Fox trying to close the door on the Devil Rays. Again, rolls back. His lead not terribly large, but Fox has been most concerned.
A couple of things here involved. Obviously some speed at first base, but they also want to get a look to see if the bunt is still on. See if Toby Hall will give it away.
Strikeout numbers for Chad Fox over his career are pretty good. Coming into the season, he struck out 187 in 162 innings. Major leagues averaging 10 Ks per 9 innings. And he's been nasty against left-handers. A 197 career batting average for lefties against Chad Fox. Now the 1-1. Hall is showing bunt. He punched at it, couldn't get it, and he's down 1-2.
Big break there for the Red Sox. That's not a good pitch at all. A slider down and away, not close to the strike zone, but Hall still tried to bunt it. So now he's in that 1-2 count.
We're told the Bruins and Tampa Bay Lightning have wrapped up the first period, and they are tied at 1.
I'll tell you, Don, nothing to worry about.
They came back to tie things up, and Remy has called it a lock tonight for the Bruins. They finished the first period tied at 1. Ball lunged after it, went around. A big strikeout for Chad Fox, the first out of the inning.
Well, that's huge, obviously. I mean, didn't even throw a strike. Got him to chase pitches that were not even close to the strike zone. And with all this, the runner remains on first base. So they mess up the bunt, and then he swings at a bad pitch for the strikeout. Now let's see if Lou goes to a little hit and run maybe with Abernathy. Abernathy can handle the bat.
Abernathy is 0 for 3 tonight. The fly out and 2 ground outs. Rolls with his lead at first base, held on by Shea Hillenbrand. The Red Sox outfield about straight away for Abernathy.
As long as you stay ahead of those Tampa Bay hitters, it makes it more difficult for them to put on a play, whether it be a steal or a hit and run.
Rolls takes off. Abernathy swinging away, fouls it off. Rolls had a pretty good jump out of the gate. But
yeah, they had the right idea too, because they had Walker, the second baseman, covering the bag, so there was a wide open hole on that side of the infield. Problem is, Abernathy couldn't get it on the ground. Anderson has come out on deck to hit for Ordonez.
Battle between Chad Fox and Brent Abernathy with 1 out in the 9th. The 0-2. Grounded by the mound. Garciaparra touches second. His throw off balance is not in time. Had to hurdle the runner. Damian Rolls did so and got the throw off, but it's on the tardy side and the game continues.
It looked like Nomar got crossed up a little bit when he came across the bag. Let's take another look. He catches the ball right on the bag, but right here, he couldn't get a grip on the baseball, and that threw the timing off. By the time he did get the grip on it, then he had to really get out of the way of the runner coming in and try to break up the double play.
Marlon Anderson will pinch hit for Ray Ordonez. Anderson making his Devil Rays debut and up through the Phillies organization. After 8 seasons in the Phillies organization, the last 4+ years in the big leagues with the Phillies. Did a lot of games, 319 games with the Phillies. Really takes ball 1. Anderson with the Phillies has had back-to-back 30 double seasons. Runner first takes off, up and away. The throw from Baratek will get away. Backed up by Todd Walker. Pretty good jump for Abernathy, and he makes a theft of second base, jumps up into scoring position with 2 down.
Pretty gutsy play and call there by Lou Piniella. 2 outs. The one thing you never want to have happen is have that man thrown out at second base to end the ball game. But they take the gamble. A very good jump at first base by Abernathy, and the throw you see right here is going to bounce before he gets to second base. So the Devil Rays do get that man in the scoring position with the 2 outs.
And Anderson ahead of the count, 2-0. Abernathy at second represents the tying run, as that will drop low. 3-0. First base now open. The top of the Tampa Bay order. Carl Crawford waits on deck. Grady Little looks over in the direction of his lineup card. No further action in the Boston bullpen right now. Pedro went 7, giving up 1 unearned run. Mendoza in inning. Embry came on, did not get anybody out. And now Chad Fox trying to close the door. 4 pitches, the pinch hitter Marlon Anderson walks, and he'll trot down to first base with Carl Crawford coming up next. Crawford is 0 for 4. He's grounded out 3 times and struck out. first and foul. Crawford, just 21 years of age, one of the younger Devil Rays. Red Sox were 10-0 against Tampa Bay last year here at the Trop. And one strike away from adding another chapter to the Red Sox book in success here in Tampa Bay.
Well, they say you get one pitch in every at bat. That might have been the pitch for Crawford. That fastball was right down the middle, and he fouled it straight back. Now advantage goes to Fox. Ahead 0-2.
Abernathy at second, Anderson at first. The 0-2 pitch. Again slashed foul. This is the fourth hitter that Fox has faced. A strikeout, a ground out, and a walk for Chad Fox. And Crawford continuing to foul pitches off. That's going to head out.
Yeah, Red Sox outfield a little deeper than they normally would be because they want to try to keep that ball out of the gap. I mean, if the tying run comes across, you keep playing. If that man from first scores, game's over. Any ball in the gap.
Pedro Martinez, Ramiro Mendoza, Alan Embry, and now Chad Fox. The 0-2 pitch to Crawford. Up and away. He got away. 1-2.
Yeah, Veritek just wanted to waste one there. You could see him come out of his crouch to set the target. Wanted that high fastball out of the zone.
Anderson at first. Abernathy at second. In the air to right. Nixon is headed back. Looking up. That ball is gone. A 3-run home run for Carl Crawford. The Devil Rays have come all the way back, and they win it. Devil Rays have spoiled opening day 2003 for the Red Sox.
Unbelievable comeback here. Carl Crawford on a nasty pitch down and looked to be out of the strike zone. Gives this Tampa Bay club exactly what they were looking for on opening day. A comeback win. That is our Fox with chance play of the game winner by Carl Crawford.
And again, the totals, the Devil Rays 6 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. Boston 4 runs, 8 hits, an error. McClung the winner, Fox the loser. For Jerry Remy, this is Don Orsillo saying so long from Tampa Bay. We'll head to the Fleet into the second period with the Bruins coming up next. Good night, everybody.